Well, hello there. It's Bronwyn White here from MyTravelResearch.com. And today you're listening to the recording version of the free live training that we gave on the 5-step tourism marketing system. I assure you, you will not be disappointed. And I want you to indulge yourself here because you're going to learn things. We're going to be using different language. You're going to be learning new concepts and new ways of marketing. So I really want you to switch everything off in the background, anything that pings, any Skype, any emails, and perhaps silence your phone and close your door. And really allow yourself to sit, listen and learn to some of these concepts that are going to give you a unique competitive edge. Now you are in the right place if you no longer want to rely on hope marketing. What's hope marketing? Well, you might be throwing marketing dollars at marketing tactics and not really knowing why you're doing that. You may have done it last year, so you're doing it this year. But you're just going to hope it goes all right. You might be experiencing digital and technology overwhelm. It's a big concern for many of our clients and friends. And the marketing landscape is just changing so quickly. Every day there's something new that's launched, some new big shiny new tactic that you could learn and do that's going to transform your business. And you want to make sure that your budget, and more importantly, your time is spent in the most efficient way possible. Now, as a tourism professional, you're stretched for time, your budgets are tight and diminishing. You have competing stakeholder needs and marketing needs. And those stakeholders can be pretty loud if you're a destination. That's why all of your marketing needs to be backed by solid consumer research. And this strategy, the 5-step tourism marketing system, we have been experimenting with for the last 3 years. So you can be confident that everything that you learn today is backed by solid research. That's what Carolyn and I do. We're market researchers, we're strategists, and we've been doing this for the last 3 years. And in fact, we use this system on our very own business, and we experimented on our very own business, and we'll show you a little bit more of that later on. Now, I want you to stick around the end. You will not be disappointed. We will have a fast action bonus. So what you're going to learn today on this webinar is how to create a powerful online presence, and all importantly, how to rank on Google above your competitors, even the big ones like we did, and where to focus your marketing budget and that time. And you'll learn a plan that ensures that travellers will find you when they're searching for holidays on the internet. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal aha moment with this that I experienced a few years ago now, a couple of years ago when all this started to happen. You see, I am completely obsessed with marketing. I'm a big nerd, really. And as researchers, both myself and Carolyn, we're also obsessed with the cause and effect of results. So a couple of years ago, I became obsessed with machine learning and semantic search. Now, don't run away. Now is the time to channel your inner nerd, because your inner nerd is going to give you the competitive advantage. When we heard about the Google semantic search switch and we learned about machine learning, we experimented on our own business and we saw just how powerful it was. Now stick with me, I'm going to explain all of these concepts over the next few slides. Now what happened when in the midst of all of this, we wrote a blog post, then people were really interested, then we put out a little booklet for our clients. Our clients were really interested, and not just our own clients, but other departments and non-tourism clients were really interested. And then we were asked to deliver workshops, not just for tourism businesses, but for all sorts of businesses. So we thought, wow, really, this is the time now to share with everybody. This thing has legs because it really works. So after a while of experimenting with semantic search and machine learning algorithms, our inquiries grew, which is what it's all about, right? And our trust, reputation and authority grew. we outranked our competitors on Google. It was so exciting. We really felt like we'd cracked some sort of a code. And as you can see here, I've done an incognito search, which means I've cleared all of my search history. And you can see the top two listings here on an organic search for travel research is our company, MyTravelResearch.com. We're ahead of the Journal of Travel and Tourism Research. We're ahead of a government site here, Tourism Research Australia. And we're ahead of big multinational organisations like Focusrite, like Skift. And we just couldn't believe it. We thought, wow, this is really amazing. Google trusts us enough to put our content ahead of all of those other big guys. And this is what your goal is going to be. And then what happened after that, as our content became more and more trusted, we started getting more publicity as a result of what was happening on the internet. So we were called upon by all sorts of organisations to write articles and write expert articles, and we were on Today Tonight, we were on ABC, interviewed about all sorts of things. And our profile just kept getting bigger and bigger. And as a result, our inquiries grew, which again, it's what it's all about. So let's go into it. Let's talk about the 5-step tourism marketing system and why you need to start implementing this today. Now, one thing I need to let you know up front, some of these concepts, you're going to know them. You will have heard them. But the one thing about this system is that it's successful because each step has its own role to play. But success comes about as a sum of all of the parts working together. Your campaign will just not succeed if you leave any element out. You've got to have all of these things going on together. And I just want to reiterate, if we can do it, you can do it. We're a small business compared to some of the other big multinationals, and hopefully that's not going to last too long, but this is some other things that happened to us. As a result of our increased authority and influence, the Australian government asked us to accompany them on a trade mission to India to showcase our business as one of Australia's best. Isn't that exciting? And so Carolyn went to India with the Premier Mike Baird and at that time the Minister of Tourism, and with some other really huge businesses, we were invited to go and do this. It was really exciting and it was really a sign of our success. And here is me, if you're a fellow nerd with my optimal nerds, we have Robert Rose and we have Joe Palatsky from the Content Marketing Institute. So here I am photographed with them because I could go off to these conferences. So what we're going to cover now is what happened to marketing, because something big happened that no one really is talking about because it uses those nerdy words. We're going to go through a few assumptions, things that you need to have in place before you implement the system. And then we're going to go through the 5-step methodology. So what exactly happened to marketing? And again, this is where you need to channel your inner nerd. Do not run from these words because they're powerful. We've got machine learning, artificial intelligence, and semantic search. And these are the things that we're going to cover off over the next few slides. So what happened? The last couple of years, look, I kind of see the current time, 2017, is the new 1760. It is the industrial revolution of our time. It is just so exciting. And the exciting thing is that we're just at the beginning. We will never be here again. So what happened a couple of years ago is the biggest change since the internet began. Google switched over its algorithms to what it calls its semantic search-based algorithms. Now, before that, all of the other search engines had done this, but when Google, because Google owns 70% of the market, when they switched over, it meant business. It meant we're all on. So we are living in an age of the internet and specifically semantic search. So let's go through what semantic search is. Okay, in previous years, search results would show that were, the top 10, I guess, organic search rankings would be, it would show, those with the deepest marketing pockets, the big companies, because they could afford the keyword stuffing, they could afford all of the artificial link building and all of the, I guess, gamed tactics where the deepest pockets always won out. And Google is all about the user experience. It wants to provide the best user experience it possibly can to that person sitting there searching on the internet. It wants to provide real answers to those search queries rather than churning out keyword stuffed pages, gamed pages. So this is how it works. I want you to imagine that I'm sitting in my lounge room and I'm searching for family holidays or beach holidays near me or around me. What Google does at that point, there's two aspects. It looks at me and it looks at search pages and websites, tourism websites. So for me, it looks at Bronwyn's search history. It knows everything that I've searched for before, and this is a bit creepy, I know. It knows where I am. It knows that I have kids. It knows that I'm interested in things to do with kids. It knows if I'm searching on my phone, not my lounge room, it knows that my geographic location is different to my lounge room. It knows my social media habits. It knows the types of things I share on social media, the types of things I comment on and like. It knows all of these things about me. Now, what it does at that point is it crawls the search engine. It crawls Google and tries to find the best and most appropriate website and web pages to match me, Bronwyn, and my circumstance. So what it might show, for example, is accommodation. It might show beachside cabins that are, fully self-contained with kitchen, because I have these kids. We don't sort of eat out a huge amount when we're on holidays. It might show me self-contained apartments. It shows me kids' activities. It shows me things to do with kids, attractions, all those types of things. It gives me information and web pages specific to my persona. It's going to give a different answer to my next door neighbours, a gay couple who like to go on truly luxury holidays where, being in a room next to us would probably be their worst nightmare. So what does all this mean? It means what appears on page 1 of Google is different for every single person, every search query, every mobile device, and every desktop device. It's pretty major stuff. So your goal is to get Google to trust you enough to present your website or web page in a search to your ideal customer. Your role and job now is to build trust, reputation, and authority in the eyes of the search engines. And we're going to go through that in a moment, just how you do that. So just reiterating, it requires commitment and hard work. Your magic ingredients here are time and consistency. I'm going to be really honest, it's not a quick fix, but you remember we're at the beginning of time. We're never going to be here again. And if you're a smaller business or a destination, you can afford to be nimble and quicker than the big guys, because you have the time and the ability to build trust, reputation, and authority. So why do we need to care? Well, really, every consumer, no matter who you are now, looks to the internet at every single stage of the path to purchase. And there are 7 stages: dreaming, to planning, to being in destination, to when they get home and they share their photos. We spend 13 hours online researching before we book. So a couple of years ago, when they switched over to semantic search, Google profoundly changed the way that our customers find us and what information that we receive. It is going to be tailored to each individual search. and in doing so has profoundly changed the way that we need to market our business and manage our digital and online presence. So as I mentioned, before we get into the nitty-gritty of the 5 steps, there's a few really important assumptions to have in place before we even start on those. You've got to know who your customer is. You've got to know intimately who your target market is, who your persona, your segments, whatever you like to call them. But you've got to know back to front who your customer is so that you can tailor all of your content towards what they want to know. So that, for example, your content has the ability to get in touch with me sitting in my lounge room. And your branding, you need to make sure that your branding is in check. You kind of have to think now with your branding, you have 2 customers. Yes, you have the travelers, but you also have Google. It really does help to think of Google as a person. I know it's a bit odd, but it will help you. So in terms of your brand, you need to be really strong and tight with your brand. Consistency is key, because if you don't have a strong and consistent brand, the machine learning algorithms cannot figure what you are all about. If you are trying to be all things to all people at different times and not being consistent in what you are saying on the internet, the machine learning algorithms cannot figure you out. And if they can't figure you out, you're not likely to be presented in a search result. So consistency is the key. And by branding consistency, I mean consistency in words, the tone of voice, the language, the types of images you use in your videos, your visual identity. All of these things need to be agreed upon before you go ahead with the 5 steps. And we see this, unfortunately, a lot in tourism. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You have to be prepared to change. So here we go. Are you willing to change your habits? Let's get into it. Step 1, Google My Business. Now, I have no doubt you've heard of this before, but I'm here to tell you it is really, really important. And I'm here to tell you that if you love Google, Google will love you back. And today I heard a statistic that in Australia, in one of the Australian regions, only around 30% of businesses have claimed their Google My Business page. You know why this is crazy? It is crazy because this is the lowest hanging fruit. We see Google My Business results on page 1 of Google every single day. So I can't yet understand why we're not loving this stuff. And you know what? It's free. It doesn't cost anything because Google wants your content desperately. It wants to help some of those travelers that are sitting there in the lounge room. To be successful in any business, you need to be searchable. And you might have the best website in the world, the most beautiful website, the best social media. But if Google can't find you, you're not going to have a lot of success. So get on Google My Business as soon as you can if you're not. And if you are, optimize your page. Make sure your information is correct. Now, I'm always on the game. Even when I'm on my own family holidays, I'm always on it. And the amount of information that is incorrect on Google My Business page is a lot. It can seriously damage your brand. Make sure that you have lots and lots of awesome content, that your words, your written content is there and beautiful, images and videos are there, and that you have reviews. I know, I hear it all the time, it's no problem getting reviews on TripAdvisor. However, you need to try and get some reviews on Google. And, again, I hear this every day. It's really hard to get customers to leave reviews on Google. Well, you know what? In places like America, it's happening. We just have to try and educate consumers to do that. And people are doing it. They're doing it at restaurants. They're doing it at all sorts of places. So once you have 3 reviews in place, It used to be 5. Your stars will start to show. So you've all seen these stars. Well, once you have 3 there, they'll start to show. And our eyes naturally gravitate towards the stars. The next thing is learn to love Google+, and I can hear you groan. Yep, no one's really in there, but that's why you need to be in there. Because Google Plus posts are instantly indexed by Google. Google Plus posts come up in search results when people are searching. So this is an example here of one of my posts that have come up in a Google search. So this is the reason that you've got to love Google Plus. You know, to have another avenue where your destination or your hotel or activity can be presented in a search result is golden. The next step is mobile. Now, last year, it became official that more people are searching on mobile devices than they are on desktop. So at that point, if you remember, Google is all about the user experience. They're telling us to plan now for mobile first and desktop second. And what they're doing is they announced last year what we nerds called Mobilegeddon. They're going to penalise websites that are not mobile optimised. So if your website is still not mobile and your competitor up the road is, if I'm searching on my mobile device, you are not likely to be shown. The competitor is. You stand to lose business. So you need to be Google mobile friendly. What happens when we're not? It's slow, isn't it? It's hard to click on the links. You know, you go to click on a link and you click on the wrong one and then you have to go back, and at that point we disengage, we give up and we go somewhere else. We get really cranky. So it's just not good. Number 3, content. Content is the centerpiece of everything that you do in this system. Now, if you don't have content, the machine learning algorithms cannot figure you out. What happens is, as you put content in, and content has to be placed consistently. It's not a one-off. You have to do it sort of as often as you can. The machine learning algorithms crawl your website and they kind of get to know you, learn what you're all about. It's like matchmaking, if you like. So that's what happens with content. If you don't have content on your site, if you don't have, ways for the search engines to figure you out, you don't have a chance of being presented in the search engines. It's the way your customers get to know you, and it's the way that Google gets to know you. And it's how you build that trust, reputation, and authority that we're all trying to achieve. And it's with useful, relevant content that creates a meaningful connection, not just to your customers, but to Google. So your role now is not just to be a tourism marketer or tourism professional. You have to consider yourself to be a publisher of compelling content, so that you can be trusted by the search engines and you can be recognised as an authority in your topic. And as I keep saying, we're at the beginning of time. You have a great chance to do this. Now, content can be all sorts of things. It can be a blog post, it can be a micro blog post on Google+, videos, images, and it's not just about highly produced videos. It's about those videos that you capture on your way to work of dolphins, or that beautiful sunrise on your morning walk. It can be a whole range of things. It can be information about what's happening around you. What happens around you gives the search engines context as well. So anything that's going on, like markets, events, local stuff, local theatre, stuff that's going on in the school holidays, all of this stuff is really helpful to both your travellers and to Google. The next point is visuals. Now, there's no excuse. We are travel. We are not washing powder. We're not insurance. We are travel. We have it given to us on a plate. Our visuals are beautiful. Visuals in the travel industry go hand in hand. So I really like to dish out a bit of tough love here. There's no excuse for tired old images. And one of the other things is that Google wants your images, and this is something that they've announced a couple of weeks ago, is that they want more and more images. And again, this is really easy for us to do. And one of the amazing things is that Google, the machine algorithms, can actually read your images. So it's another way that you can get Google to understand who you are. YouTube wants your videos. And guess what? Google owns YouTube. Remember, love Google and Google will love you back. And one of the things that probably help you here is that travel is the most consumed vertical on YouTube. People love travel videos and they particularly love original content. Consumers love original content and so does Google. Now, if you're looking for ideas, we met these guys last year at the Travel and Tourism Research Association conference. It's Visit Barbados, and when we'd met them, they just poured a huge amount of money into market research around their website. So we went and had a look at it. It is amazing. It is the most beautiful, visually gorgeous website that I have come across. So if you're looking for strong shoulders to stand on and ideas, go to the Visit Barbados site. It truly is best practice tourism website marketing. Go and have a look at how highly visual everything is. Everything's fluid. You know, a lot of the pictures have people in them enjoying their experiences. All their experiences are broken down very clearly. You know, they have local events and festivals. It is a terrific website. Go and have a look. It will give you some great ideas. And as I say, they've poured lots of money into research here. It is backed by solid evidence. And step number 5, social media. I want you to now consider social media to be social SEO. It's really important. And I want you to consider social media as a way to distribute your amazing, compelling content. Okay, it's a natural way for you to get backlinks back to your website. Google has just announced, and this stuff changes all the time, you know, we're on it all the time, that the 2 most important things that you need to concentrate on at the moment is your content and the links pointing back to your site. And the way that you can do that is through social media. It looks at the engagement of your content. It looks at who's commenting, if people are sharing, if people are liking your content, if it's original content. Again, Google picks up on all of this stuff. Its machine learning algorithms use this to help it form a picture about your website and what you do. It gives a clearer understanding behind the meaning of your content. So again, this stuff's really, really important. If you're finding that your content is not being engaged with, go back and check why, because this stuff's going to be looked at by the machine learning algorithms. Now, this stuff really works. It happened for us a couple of years ago. We've been tweaking it because, you know, when we started experimenting, this stuff was really, really new. And I must point out, it's still really, really new. So we are on this all the time as it changes. Now, a couple of years ago, in 2014, we went to Cambodia and presented a white paper at the PATA conference. And so we presented the white paper and we also put out a press release, and it was picked up by lots of different authorities. So this is kind of how it worked for us, and it would work for you. So if you can imagine, we were picked up by eHotelier, and they're a very well-respected, I guess, online travel rag, if you like. So that particular article was shared and viewed by thousands. It was awesome for us. And then we were also shared and commented on by 2 absolute gurus on semantic search and SEO and machine learning. David Amerland is the semantic search guru. He's my idol. I know it is nerd speak again, but he picked it up. He shared our white paper and he said it was the best thing he'd seen all week. and he shared our published articles. So what happened that day is Google said, oh wow, these guys must know what they talk about. If David Amelan is sharing their content, he's such authority. Well, My Travel Research must really be a trusted authority as well. So then our standing, our trust, reputation and authority catapulted, which is why we are presented above all of the big multinationals, because the quality of our content and I guess the stuff happening around it is really, really there. And this is something, a scenario you need to work towards as well. So then at that point, on that day, we became a trusted reputation, a trusted authority. Google trusted us enough to present in certain topics on search. So I guess, particularly on travel and semantic search and travel research. And all of this was done through content, through us working hard at our content, publishing really valuable, interesting and original content, and the engagement of that content. So I want to remind you, why did you show up today? You might be frustrated by the number of marketing choices you have and you're just not sure of where to start. You're experiencing marketing and technology overwhelm. There's just too much going on and you probably rely a little bit on hope marketing. So you're looking for a simple marketing strategy that actually works. You may not be sure if your stuff's working. You're looking for a strategy that's not complex, that doesn't cost the earth. Now, this 5-step system, I need to tell you, you can do it all yourself. We do it ourselves, and it costs us time, okay, which is still extremely valuable, but we do all of this ourselves, and we started somewhere. And I'm here to tell you that my first blog piece was really atrocious, and still now to this day, I actually have to get my stuff edited and proofed because, maybe my grammar's not so flash. So just consider that. You've got to start somewhere. Now this stuff, if you don't do it yourself, if you don't have the time, because time really is something that we're so poor of in the industry, some of this stuff can be easily outsourced. Now images, you can get volunteers who have an interest in photography. You can get them to take beautiful images and videos for you. You can get them to curate your images. You can get writers. You can get, a whole range of things to help you. There are some things that you need to keep an eye on, but, this is stuff that can be readily outsourced. So you might be thinking, okay, I want to get this stuff up and running quickly. Now you can take the complicated route and confusing route, try and do it all yourself, try and keep up with the changes all yourself, or you can take the easy path, the simple and strategic route. Or you can join us, me and Carolyn, or Carolyn and I, for the 5-step tourism marketing system online lab. Now, it's a lab and it's ongoing and fluid because marketing changes all the time. We are nerds. We love this stuff and we're on it. The Tourism Marketing Lab, it gets updated every time something changes or, Google is focusing on something. So what happens in the online lab is that we conduct all of the marketing experiments, do the research for you because, hey, that's what we are. We're researchers. You get the results. So we keep you updated on all of this stuff on a regular basis. So the 5-step tourism marketing system, an online marketing lab, is the absolute fastest way for you to gain trust, reputation and authority. We will get through the marketing technology overwhelm together and we will help you. We'll be there every step of the way. And us, Carol and I, the researchers, will keep experimenting in the semantic search lab to present to you the evidence as it arises. So what do you get in our complete 5-step tourism marketing system? Well, it's a truly evidence-based marketing system that we've tried and tested on our own website over the last 3 years. So I promise I won't test anything on yours, but we continue to test these things on our own. We keep up to date with what's happening on. You'll get immediate access to the 5 training videos, the 5 steps. You get 2 bonus trainings on how to create a fabulous tourism brand. Now, Carolyn is invited all around the world to speak at conferences about tourism branding. You will not get a better authority on tourism branding. So to have someone like Carolyn holding your hand is absolutely awesome. And we've also included a bonus training on creating your customer persona, how to create the ideal persona. You'll get all of our secret sauce and tips. You'll get live coaching through Facebook, and you'll get a lifetime membership. Now, it's lifetime because things change often, and we want to keep you up to date with, you might need to reprioritize your focus. There may be something new that you need to focus on, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to put something else in there today. And we will be giving you ongoing updates as we research and experiment on your behalf. It's 100% accessible anytime. You can put your staff in there to learn. If you have marketing coordinators, you can get them to do the training and help you implement some of the steps. You get access to the private Facebook group where Carolyn and I will answer any of your questions anytime. And you get a 45-page workbook that takes you step by step on how to implement. So you'll find that the videos are actually the kind of why, and the workbook is the how-to. So we've got screenshots and all sorts of things to get you through. Now, we've put in some bonuses because we're so excited about this product. I've mentioned before the tourism and persona module, but what I'm really excited about is ready-made tourism personas. Now, this is hugely valuable, and we have put hours and hours into our personas. So you will have ready-made personas for seniors, where I've written a book about seniors and travel. Senior singles is something that we've identified as a target market. VFR hosts, Gen Z and Gen Y. We've also thrown in our amazing path to purchase report so that you know the type of content to create at each stage of the path to purchase. Now, there's lots of crossovers in there, but it will guide you on what type of information people are looking for at each of these stages. And 3 months membership to our premium trends hub, where we keep you up to date with the broad travel and tourism industry trends. So you will create, if you're with us, the trust, reputation and authority in the eyes of Google. And remember, we're at the beginning of time. This is really exciting stuff. You will be more likely to be presented in a search result to your ideal customer. You'll finally be free of hope marketing. This is a biggie. You can stop praying to the SEO marketing gods. You'll create that unique competitive advantage over your competitors in your business and your destination. And you'll create a really strong online and digital presence that gives you a lot of opportunities to sell your product or your destination, and it creates interests and leads. So what does all this cost? Well, your investment is $497. And like semantic search, I'm not quite sure how long we're going to keep this price, because this is the first time we've really launched this product. So $497 Australian. If you are somewhere outside of Australia, that equates to around $380 US. So, which is an absolute bargain. The Australian dollar is not too strong. Now, you can pay it all in one lot where you save, or you can pay in 6 monthly instalments of $95 Australian. And again, that's slightly reduced if you're in USA. Where do I get it? Well, go here, MyTravelResearch.com/5step. Have you written that down? MyTravelResearch.com/5step. Now, this is another no-brainer. This is why you need to join us. We are giving you a 60-day no questions asked guarantee. We are so confident that you'll start seeing results, and that this is so easy that we are giving you a 60-day guarantee. So the total value of all of this, it's not just the 5-step marketing system. We want you with us. We are passionate about this industry. You know, we're talking around $1,600 worth of value for nearly $500. So you really can't go wrong. So what happens now? So if you want to buy, if you follow the URL, MyTravelResearch.com/5-step, you'll be presented to this page. Now, depending on when you go there, the page will look like this, or you will have the video, which we're going to upload the replay about here. Now, you'll see this click to buy button. You can click to buy straight away, or if you want to read through the system again, or get someone in your staff to read it, we've got a lot of information. We've got a lot of information all about it here. So when you click that Buy Now button, you'll be presented to our order form. So you can see down here on the right hand side, you can make your single payment of $4.97, or you can opt to make 6 payments of $95. Now, if you're Australian, you will be charged GST on top of this, but if you live outside of Australia, and this system happens anywhere in the world, it works anywhere except for China, and you won't be charged GST if you're outside of Australia. So once you purchase, you'll get an email with your member login for the 5-step marketing system. You'll also be given access to the premium membership site, which is one of the bonuses. So this is what the dashboard looks like. So click this box here. Now, sometimes what happens is you might need to clear your cache. There might be a little bug in there. I don't know what it is, but if you're having problems getting in, just clear your cache and you should be okay. So click on this icon and it will take you to the 5-step marketing homepage. And here's all of our modules. And, you know, these are fluid. We will change them as we need to, and we will let you know of any changes. So each module, you'll have a video where we go through the video, we go through the concept. You can download the worksheet and you can download the slides. We don't protect the slides because we want you to use this stuff. We want you to present this stuff within your organisation. We really want you to use it. So it's all there for you to use. The beauty of this is that you can get other staff to watch it as well. So any internal staff, please get them to watch. Now, a fast action bonus. If you act within the next 15 minutes, if you buy within the next 15 minutes, we are giving you 2 one-on-one live coaching sessions with myself or Carolyn, whoever's available at the time. But you've got to buy while we are live. You have 15 minutes to do this. We have 20 to give away. So whichever comes first, we're fairly limited on our time ourselves, but we are so excited about this, so excited to look at your business that we really want you to buy. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me directly, bronwyn@mytravelresearch.com, bronwyn@mytravelresearch.com. Now, thanks for being with me today. That just about wraps it up. I really hope that you've learned something. I really hope that you've connected with your inner nerd, because if you have, it's going to give you a unique competitive advantage and you will be presented to your ideal customer in the eyes of Google. Thanks for being with me, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.